Hi, it's Marissa. This is MKiss Creations here on Flosstube. You can also find me at MKiss Creations over on Instagram. And it's been a week, so it's time for another Flosstube video. Today is Wednesday, March 25th, and this is Flosstube number 66. I got the number right. Last week I got the number wrong. Every week has been an adventure. I have been stitching a lot still. There were a couple of you that were amazed at how much stitching I got done, and I have to say it might not be for the healthiest reason. I suffer from a severe case of revenge procrastination bedtime. That is where you stay up later than you probably should so that you have time for you. We probably should make time for ourselves during the day, but sometimes, depending on your season of life, that's just not possible. And with me, I just stay up really late. I get about 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night, so I don't do too bad in that department. My husband and I say the secret to our marriage is that one of us is a night person and one of us is a morning person, and it has severely helped, or severely exponentially helped in raising kids, just because if something happens at night, I'm on it, I'm awake, I can function. If something happens in the morning, he's on it, he's awake, he can function. Whereas vice versa, we're not as, high performing in those hours. So me staying up late and him being the early one, it just tends to work out in that realm, and it's dribbled into my crafting, and I do get a lot of my stitching done at night. If I am super locked in, once I get the girls to bed around 8:30, I can still put in 2 to 2.5, 3 hours of stitching, depending on where I'm at. My brain is still functioning. I am not a super tired person at night. When I am stitching a lot like that, like I have been, reading goes to the wayside. That's my other leisurely activity in the evenings. So I don't get a lot of reading done. I do get to watch shows and floss tubes. I most recently started watching Peaky Blinders because I hadn't seen it before, so I have been catching up on that show and really enjoying it. And yeah, I just get to do and watch things I wouldn't watch with my kids around. We don't do a lot of TV during the week, so there's not a lot of TV. There's no TV on in the evenings at our house anyways, so that's my only time for that. And I'm usually have stitching in my hand as well, because doing just one thing at a time is not my style. So yeah. So yes, I did get a lot of stitching done. I did get a lot of stitching done again this week. Spoiler alert, you're not going to get to see all of it. That is because I have a special announcement. I was announced as one of the trunk shows / vendors for the Library Stitchers Retreat. And that is here in Augusta, Maine. The second weekend of April. It's a Friday, Saturday event. It is really fun. I have gone all 3 years. Is this the third year? The 2 years before this. This will be the third year, I believe. And it is a fantastic retreat. It's 2 days. They feed us lunch and dinner both days, and you don't have to leave. You just get to lock in and stitch and hang out with people. It's usually about 150 people, and it's really fun. So they asked me if I would like to vend at the retreat this year, and I said yes, because I have been dragging my feet on something, and that something has been printing my patterns. So at Library Stitchers Retreat, I am hard launching MKiss Creations printed patterns. I do not know where those will be available yet. I am going to do this on my own there. I don't know that I will be selling printed patterns on Etsy. That is where you can find my PDF patterns available. I don't know if I want to be responsible for that shipping, so we're going to do a little bit more research, but this is going to be the hard launch of a select amount of my patterns. If you are attending Library Stitchers Retreat and you're not a PDF stitcher and there's something that you have really wanted to have in your hand as a paper pattern, please let me know and I will add that to the queue of patterns that I will bring with me. But I have a pretty good idea of which ones are coming as of right now. And I've got a couple of extra surprises that no one's ever seen before. So all of that to come soon. And yeah, I'm just really pumped, really honored that they asked, and really excited for this little shove in the back that I needed to get myself into the printing world. It has been a challenge falling in love with cross stitch and designing with the season of life that I've been in, with the ages that my children are. Market hasn't been on the table for us. It has been, you know, kind of here and there with designing. And I just, when the fire lights, the fire lights, and the designs come out, and it feels really good when they do. And sometimes the pattern does well, even just in the PDF world with my small little bubble supporting me. But I would like to give it a shot and see where we go from here. So that is that plan. And thank you for those of you who have supported me along the way. Thank you again to the Library Stitchers. And if you are going, I am so excited to see you. It is like T-minus 2 weeks as of tomorrow, I think. So we're getting into the thick of it. I actually took today and tomorrow off of work to get some projects fully finished and get some printing setup stuff finalized and get some stuffing done. So we're in the works and I am pumped. I do still have 4 stitches that I get to show you. I have a finish amongst those 4 stitches, a new start amongst those 4 stitches. So let's start with the finish. I finished Twilight Nature Walk from Sprouting Lupine. Here it is. I stitched this on a 32 count Haunted from Picture This Plus. And I stitched it with the Called For DMCs. And Haunted is a little bit of a greener, like a green blue-gray, I guess you would call it. It is not showing up obviously the way that I'm describing it, but maybe if I bring it back here, it's still showing just really kind of traditional gray. But it does have a little bit of a tint to it, and it looks fantastic with these colors. And these are, gosh, these are just my colors. I love jewel tones. You put 550 in a pattern, I want to stitch it. I love that purple is my purple. So I got all the back stitch done. These like bleeding hearts up here are so awesome. This moth is beautiful. So this is my first finish for the collector sal for my moth wall. There have been some other finishes for other people's collector sals. Karen from KBH Stitches finished and fully finished my Mind Your P's and Cukes pattern, which turned out adorable. So I'm sure she will be showing that in her next Flosstube. So if you don't already subscribe to her, please go check her out. I have gotten more shout outs on Flosstube videos in the past month than I can even keep track of. Mama Loves You GB, thank you so much for your shout out. And then the list of all of the people that have been contributing, they've been, you know, shouting me out when they've stitched their patterns. And just thank you for pointing people in my direction. Thank you for participating in this sal. It has been so amazing. So that was my finish. So I was really excited. That means so far in 2026, I have had a finish every month. And I actually have already finished, I've finished other things this month too, but again, we're not going to show those until, I don't know if we're going to show them right before or right after Library Stitchers. I have not decided yet. Oh, before I show you some other things, I do want to apologize. I'm going to put on pause the 2,000 subscribers giveaway for just maybe one more week because I am a little bit over my head in preparing for Library Stitchers and making sure I get that stuff done, because right now yes, you guys are important, but I want to make sure I have something really great to give you. And I also need to make sure that I am prepared for something that I committed to. So before I commit to a giveaway, I need to fulfill this other commitment first. All right, let's talk about my new start. I started the Black Butterfly Sampler by Shaded Stitchery. I'll put a picture of it right here. And I started this last night. I was also working on a model stitch, so I only put 231 stitches into this, which for me is like not an ideal amount of stitches for a start, but I did it anyways. And here's where I'm at. And so this is obviously it's a black and white piece. I'm gonna put the picture back up right here. So let's take this one off of here. All right, I'm gonna leave it in my little hoop. This piece of fabric, okay. We have the picture up because I'm gonna talk to you about the picture. There's an alphabet in here. There's an alphabet and then there's a crown on top of the butterflies. I think I am leaving both the alphabet and the crown on top of the butterflies off. And then I'm gonna change, because the borders on the sides of the butterflies are different. So I'm gonna make them the same and just have the row of butterflies. This is on a piece of fabric that was gifted to me in a giant box of fabric a long time ago. And I knew I was never going to stitch on this color. And every year before the 4th of July, we do tie-dye shirts for our family on our picnic table in the backyard. And so I pulled out a couple pieces of fabric that I was like, I'm never gonna stitch on those. That color's like the neutrality, like they were neutrals. This one was like, I think like a mustardy beige. Like it was just not, it was not me. So I grabbed a Ziploc bag. I scrunched this up. I picked one of the colors that we had left over at the end and I dumped a bunch of tie-dye on it. I stuck it in the bag and then I washed it out with the rest of the tie-dye stuff that we did that day. So that's where this color came from, and I think it's going to be beautiful for this black piece. It is charted in 2 colors, but I think that I am just going to do black. So the flowers, I believe, underneath are a different color. I didn't pay that much attention when I put it into Pattern Keeper because I just put 310 for all of it. It did make me choose what the colors were. So, yeah, there's my start on that. And that's a pretty true representation of the fabric. It's kind of like a strawberry lemonade or like a, yeah, strawberry lemonade. Let's go with strawberry lemonade. If I dyed it and sold it, that's what I would call it. All right, and then a whole long schmoobity boo about match day and how exciting it was. And it is exciting. Did I lose a needle? I need to be better about my needles. I think this one is stuck to something else though. Okay. I went on and on about match day being exciting, and it was really awesome. And we've got some great new doctors coming to work with us, which I'm really excited for. And I said I was gonna work on my medicine and poison. Well, I did. First, my stitch counts were wrong because, let's see, I hadn't marked some of them off because I had only recently got it into Pattern Keeper, thanks to Sloan Stitches saying that she managed to get it in by like doing it in the old way instead of, because you can revert back to the old way to upload patterns into Pattern Keeper. And so I did it like that and I got it in. And then I realized I hadn't marked off like almost 100 and something stitches. So I am further along on this than I thought I was stitch-wise, not looks-wise. And then after I marked them off, I picked it up, started stitching, and I think it was just the wrong time of day with this fabric. Like, as you can see, it's very dark. That's really, that purple is like how it is. When I hold it up, it gets blown out. So when I hold it down here, you can see what color it is. But sometimes in the wrong light, it is not easy to stitch on. And so I stitched, and then I had like moved things over 1 strand because this is on 32 count Atomic Ranch Artemis, and it's a tight weave, which is nice. I like it, but I missed a hole somewhere and I ended up being off by 1 stitch, and it's at the bottom of this big giant, I have to stitch the other skeleton. And so I took it out and then redid it. So in reality, I only ended up adding 92 stitches to this, which for me is like, whew, that is a low number to add. But I added in these flowers down here and then this part of the skeleton's leg. So this is what it's looking like right now. So I don't even need to put up a picture of where I was last time. That's what I worked on. It was just that. So hopefully I will pull this one back out at some point sometime soon and work on it a little bit more. But it got stitches. It's not abandoned, and I guess that counts for having been worked on this year. I would like to put at least the 100 stitches in, but I will put more than that in it the next time it comes out, and it will come out again. All right, and then I have my 1,000 stitch commitment to a full coverage piece. And I did that. I did that first, and it usually is what I do first. So usually I finish filming on Wednesday, I go back to work because I usually film on my lunch break, and then I make dinner, and then I pick out what my full coverage is going to be. And then I usually spend 2 to 3 days getting my 1,000 stitches into that project. So I decided to work on Cauldron of Mer because it hasn't seen as much attention as What Lies Beneath and Tiki Beach Sunset, which are the 2 other ones that I have been working on the most this year, and for full coverage. So here's what Cauldron of Mer looks like. The artwork's by Ivy Dolamore. It was charted by Unconventional X Stitch. It is a retired pattern, so unfortunately it's not available. Ivy Dolamore's art is available, I think, in puzzles and a lot of other things, just I don't think it's currently available as cross-stitch charted work. So sorry for that. I put in 1,220 stitches. I hit the 10,000 stitch mark on this project, so I am at 10,761 out of 156,600, and I'm at 6.87%. And the exciting / not exciting thing is, oh, I forgot to take a picture of where oh, maybe I did. I don't know. If I have it, I'll put in the picture of where I started. I think I actually did take one. I think I was smart. Okay, so there is there's a page on here that has 1 stitch left in it, and that color will also, like when I move it, like when I carry it along, will also finish out another page. I didn't have it, and I went to Michael's twice and they didn't have it, but I went today and they had it. So I have it now. So I don't know. I hit the 10,000 stitch mark, so I got at least like a good milestone done, but there are 2 more like biggie milestones waiting for me in this one. So that might be enough for me to run with this one for another week and see how it goes. I am still hoping with even model stitching right now and designing and getting stuff printed and stuffed to still follow through with my 1,000 stitches on a full coverage piece. So we will see if it is going to be Cauldron of Mer again or not, or if something else shall pop out of the works. Like I said, it's been a busy week. It's conference week for school, so we've got that today, and it was kind of why I was like, you know what, I'll just take Wednesday off. I had a dentist appointment this morning, and we have conferences today, and I have lots to do. So it was a good day to just kind of move at my own pace and not be worried about being logged on to work stuff and do my own work stuff. So yeah, it's a good day, and I am off of work. It's sunny again. It's 43 degrees, but I went out without a jacket today because it's beautiful out. We had snow 2 nights ago though, so like, I don't know. If you live in New England, can you just leave your boots by the door? Leave your snow shovel out. Everyone just stop putting stuff away so that we don't have to keep doing this. Because someone out there keeps putting their stuff away. They're like, we won't need this anymore. We're just going to put it in the basement. It's time to stop doing that and wait until we get into a better place weather-wise, folks. All right. So next week will be like T-1 week. So hopefully I don't come with like hair amiss and looking like I haven't slept for days. Actually, you probably won't see me if that happens, but I am still wanting to be here next week and hang out with you all. I have really been enjoying my 1 week videos. It does make them a little bit shorter, but I'm kind of okay with that at the moment. And it does keep me from being too rambly about like what's going on, because I don't have stuff from like 3 weeks ago to tell you, or 2 weeks ago to tell you. We did go to Maine Maple Sunday, which is when all of the local Maine syrup makers open up their sugar shacks. And we have a favorite farm that we go to every year and absolutely love supporting them. And it's so much fun to see year after year what they expand on and what they add to their little farm. And it's not even a farm. It is just, they have a sugar bush and their neighbors do, and they run tap lines across the street and over, like down the street. It's just blue line everywhere. And it is just really neat to see like the full-fledged operation and evaporator. There have been years, and it is kind of fun to try to do, is to try to go to multiple sugar houses on the weekend. But it was inclement weather on Sunday. We had to cancel a Stitchy meetup, which was sad. But most of those people I will see at Library Stitchers, so that is exciting as well. And we will see each other again soon, and I will see you again soon. And yeah, just remember to let me know if there are any patterns that you really would like to see in print that you've kind of avoided buying because you're not a PDF person. I would love to make that happen for you. And I will talk to you all next week with hopefully some even more exciting announcements and maybe some show and tell on what I've been working on, so that we can, you know, get some hype going for Library Stitchers. If you're not already going and or if you're already going and you're hyped, like I'm hyped too. I'm so excited to see all these people. There are some people that I only see at this. Sometimes I see them twice a year. Sometimes there's people that I see, you know, every quarterly. But there's a big group of people that I only get to see once a year, and I'm really excited to see you all. So I will talk to you all next week. I hope you have a great stitchy week, and I will talk to you later. Bye.